Hey you, welcome to the I Feel You podcast presented by Project Feel. I am your host, Eddie Wise, and this is season 2. As most of you may know, we do 2 versions of this podcast. There's audio, so you find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, everywhere podcasts are found. And we also have very special visual versions on our YouTube. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to our Patreon. You get some pretty cool perks, such as getting these episodes 2 weeks early. So again, thank you so much for watching and enjoy the episode. What's up, bro?
I hate you.
What's up, bro? How's it going?
I don't know, man. I'm just grinding, dude. I mean, when people ask that question, it's so easy to just give, I'm chilling, bro.
Yeah.
How are you? It's hard to quantify what you're really doing or how you're feeling sometimes. But yeah, I'm well, man. I can't complain.
That's good. That's good. As long as you're well, as long as you're healthy, right?
I'm not healthy. As long as I'm healthy, motherfucker.
Well, healthy as in like you're eating and you got a roof over your
eating
head,
bullshit.
Right? Yeah, there you go. I mean,
I'm eating for sure, as you can see.
Yo, so welcome to the show.
Thank you. I
Yanks.
appreciate it. This is my first podcast.
Well, no way.
I think
Hell
so.
yeah. That's sick, bro.
I'm pretty sure it's my first one.
That's dope as fuck, actually. That's really cool. Well, I'm honored to be your first podcast.
Thank
Host.
you for the invite.
appreciate that. Yeah, man. Of course. So just to give the audience a little bit about you. So this is Yanks.
All right, that's me.
Born Joshua. What was your Alexzander Augustus Banks?
Yes.
I love that name,
It's
bro.
funny that you remember that.
Barely,
but close enough.
No, it's a great name. But your self-proclaimed artist name is Yanks. Your first EP was entitled Yanks.
Yeah.
And then your second
Yanks.
was The Confirmation, correct?
The Confirmation.
You have a single out now, Transparency, which is a beautiful track. I love it so much.
Thank
you know firsthand. I've listened to it so much, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
But yeah, man, I guess let them know if I missed anything, let them know who you are and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a rapper. I have some singles out, Scorpio, Transparency. He noted a couple of the projects I've put out, full-length projects. I've dropped a couple EPs. But this year, I'm really looking to drop a lot more music, a lot more singles. I already have an EP done that's going to be coming out in February. So I don't know when this is dropping, but,
Can't wait for that, man.
Yeah,
it's a great one.
It's going to be nice. And then, I have an album.
Yeah.
So,
and
so that's going to come out at some point,
Yeah.
I just want to do the rollout properly, and I want to get as many eyes and ears on it as possible.
For sure.
Yeah, that's where I'm sitting right now. I'm feeling good.
Bro. That's good, man. That's good. Just to start us off, what is the weirdest fact that you know?
Weirdest fact that I know?
Yeah. This is a hard question. I got asked this a few days ago, and I was like, this is a weird question.
That I know.
I had to think about it for a little while, but... I can give you mine. Dolphins, they sleep with one eye open.
That don't sound too weird. Like, okay. I mean, I could tell you that otters sleep hand in hand together, right?
They do?
Yeah, so they don't float away. Yeah. Like, but is that a weird fact, or is that just like
weird,
animal
bro.
shit?
Can you imagine sleeping one eye? Oh, what's that? Have you seen that TikTok? And it's like one eye open when I'm sleeping.
Oh God, I never watch TikTok. You need
don't go on TikTok?
My girl will tell you all about that shit.
She probably knows.
But I don't know TikTok. Even though TikTok, I think is for me is gonna become more of a staple in my life, unfortunately, because it's just part of the game, and
Bro,
sometimes
it's so ingrained.
It's just, and sometimes it's like you wanna not do these things because it just seems like it's stripping away at your integrity, but
your artistic integrity.
It's just like, all right, man, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
you just gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta suck it up and do it. But the weirdest fact, I don't freaking know. I haven't looked at enough Snapple facts. All right, I don't fucking know.
That's fair. Think about it, and if it pops up at any point during this interview, bro, you got it.
I will think about it.
So, what is the origin of of Yanks, like your name with the money sign at the end and everything? What's the origin of that?
Yanks with the money sign. In college, when I first started rapping, I was trying to think of a name, and I'm one of those people who would love to just use their name, but Josh Banks isn't really. It doesn't hit like Kendrick Lamar, or or like Drake or any of those, right? Rick Ross and shit, But I was like, what is something that's close to my name that can still sound cool, but is like I can reference, just me in a way. And I would have gone with Banks, but there's a female singer named Banks, and she's amazing. Popular, so I was like, all right, well, no point in me trying to compete with that.
There's also Banksy,
the artist. And so I was like, whatever. So my homies in school would always call me Yanks. It was like random. They'd be like, yo, Yanks. And then I thought about it, and I was like, what if I just go with Yanks? And then I'll put the $, Banks, $. So I'll put the $, as just like Yanks. Because the first thing I thought of was like, if I put Yanks just regular, people is probably going to think of the Yankees and all that
Yanks,
stuff.
like
Which,
the Yanks,
if you put up Yanks it will all come up just the Yankees. But if you put a $, all my stuff is dwindled in there. It's like it's all sprinkled in there and shit. So, that's kind of how that started.
They were just like, Yanks, what up, Yanks?
Yeah, they'd just be like, yo, Yanks, what up? And I'd be like, and it was, and they wouldn't call me that all the time, but like the fact that they called me that, I just had it in my head. Yeah. So when I was trying to think of a name, I was like, you know what? That's the closest thing to my name. That's dope. I'll just put a $, on it and keep it moving. Although I want to have a name change.
Interesting. Okay.
Everybody's been fighting me on it, but at some point I'm just gonna say I don't give a fuck and change my name.
I mean, it's you.
Yeah, it's me. I just gotta wait, I think, till the right moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I'm just gonna change my shit up.
Yeah. Do you think it'll come out with like a big project? It'll be like, here's my name again, but
it would probably be a single or something, like a brand change single ish.
That must be complicated though, right? Like on your socials and stuff. Is that?
I mean, it would have to be pretty much rebuilding from the beginning. I mean, I started doing it. So I started doing it, and I'm not gonna get into all the details on why I started doing it, but I had started doing it, and then I got pushed back, and you know who pushed back on me. If you hear this, you know who you are, motherfucker. And they were like, "No, we want you to build up Yanks more," and blah blah blah. So I was like, all right, whatever, so I'm going to stick with it for a little bit longer, but it's going to get changed eventually, because I just don't think the name Yanks has enough longevity as I get older. I'm a grown-ass man. I ain't trying to have a $, at the end of my name.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, like, I want to be able to just use something that is, if you saw it on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and
it'd be like a sick,
boom, right? Yeah. It'd be cool. So, yeah.
That's dope. Do you think it'll always be like a part of you, like that Yanks kind of thing? Do you think people will still refer, or do you think you want to shed it completely, like you want to just get rid of that?
No, it's gonna be a part of me. I mean, because it's what led me to if and when I changed my name. Yanks led me there, right?
That's what gave you that right to change.
It gave me the right, exactly.
That's true.
I've always wanted to know how you got your two names, because
my Eddie Wise thing. Yeah. It's honestly, so I'm a Hector Sanchez Jr. Yeah. My dad is Hector Sr., of course. And his nickname was Eddie. And
so he just gave you every name.
So yeah, so his nickname was Eddie. So I was like, and this was recent. I wasn't called Eddie as a kid. Like Eddie wasn't my thing. I had different nicknames. But Hector wasn't like it wasn't like, it's the same kind of thing as like Hector Sanchez. Like, okay, that's like a very, very regular name. Yeah. And then the Y's came along because I wanted to tag it onto something. And honestly, I'm thinking about kind of shedding the Y's part and just doing Eddie, because I like how simple that is. You know what I'm saying? I like this just one. But on Instagram, I tried to do Y's, and it was a little weird. And then I looked up the meaning of like the Y in a Y's, like instead of the I, and it was like a family crest and shit. So it was like all things that I could like, kind of associate with, and I didn't have a problem with that. And I hadn't heard that name before, so I was like, Eddie Wise sounds cool. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it was I think the first time I thought about Wise was because I was writing bars for this thing. Like some friends came from Orlando. they're like, you're gonna have like a session with us. We're just everybody's gonna make music, and I was writing bars for a cipher that we were doing, and one of the parts was like I rapped my name, and then Wise just kind of came as a rhyme, and it was really cool. So I was like, Eddie Wise. That sounds cool. That's dope. I put it in a bar, and it felt natural. I was like, oh, it's you know.
I'll go ahead and take that.
So yeah. So that's kind of what it is. So
okay.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
But it's part of your family. That's dope.
Yeah. No, I had to make it something that I actually cared about. Like,
yeah, which is, I agree.
Yeah, I gotta respect my dad too, because I don't want to just like get rid of my name completely. You know, it's I have a thing with that. But
I went through a phase where I was like going through all these different names, and when I went to community college in Westchester for a bit. Yeah. And I would tell everybody my name was Demetrius. Yeah, I would tell everybody my name was Demetrius. And I met this dude. This dude, one of my homies, he came to my house and he knocked on my door and he was like, yo, is Demetrius here? And my dad answered and he was like, who the fuck is Demetrius? But he knew my name. He knew who he was talking about. But my dad hates that shit. Like, he's really into like family name and stuff.
I mean,
like,
that's the old head stuff.
Yeah, right so the fact that he came asking for, and he was like, oh, sorry, like Josh. And he was like,
that's crazy, bro. Demetrius.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's just so far off of what your name is, too. That's like so, like, not even like.
So far.
I can't.
Just being dumb, bro. Just being young and dumb.
I went through that phase, too. I wanted for the longest time, I wanted my name to be Alexander. Actually.
Really?
Yeah. I loved the name. I loved the name Alexander. Yeah, it was a really weird phase. I even like tried to like. It wasn't like a thing I actually tried to do, but at one point I was thinking like, I wish I had a middle name, and I wish it was Alexander. It doesn't sound good, but at least I could choose the name Alexander instead of Hector.
That doesn't sound too bad though. Hector Alexander Sanchez.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I had a phase, which I'm sure a lot of people have, but where I just didn't like my name. I was like, why do I Hector? Like, it just I did. Now I'm good with it.
I don't think I like Josh for a while either, Joshua, because it was just like. That's one of the most common names in the world. Joshuas, So it's like, you know, Joshua. Ugh. But you
learn to live with it. Yeah. You learn to love it, to be honest. Like I looked up my origin and stuff like that. I was like, I actually like that name a lot, like what it stands for and stuff. So, I mean, anybody you change as you grow.
You just get older and go, hey, shit ain't changing. So
I'm not gonna go through the courts to change this shit right now, bro. I'm not trying to what name? So I could just disrespect my father like that, bro. Like what? Yeah, no, I feel that. Speaking of your parents, you were born and raised in. You were born in California, California, Los Angeles specifically.
Yeah.
And you were raised in both New York and California, or mostly?
Yeah, so I was born in Torrance, California.
Nice.
And when I was very little, like between like infancy and probably 2, I lived in New York. And then I moved with my mom back to California. And we stayed there for a while. And then we moved to Washington.
Oh, wow.
State, yeah. So I lived in Washington from like second grade. Was second grade? Maybe it was third grade. Like second or third grade to 6th grade.
Yeah.
And then we moved back to California. But that whole time I was going back and forth to New York.
Oh, wow.
My dad lived in New York. Yeah. So I would always go back and forth to New York. And then from middle school to high school, I did that time in California, obviously still going back and forth to New York. And then after high school is when I moved full-time to New York.
For school? For college?
I moved for... Well, it was really funny. So the story is I'm notoriously a bad student. It's not that I'm dumb. I'm not dumb.
Same.
No one's dumb.
No one's dumb, yeah.
But...
I mean... No, I'm kidding.
Right, I mean, there's a couple that you're like, oh shit, you know, people that like you exist, but no, I just schoolwork was just it's just pain, right? I just did not fuck with that. Like I didn't like it, still don't like it. Although I realized as I got older, I do enjoy learning new things. So once you put that all in perspective, you're like, man, I could have fucking killed it in school.
Bro,
but
same.
Whatever. Didn't like school, was notoriously bad at, was notoriously known for getting bad grades. Yeah. And I would get bad grades up until the point where, like, it was, you know, either if you fail, you're gonna just fail out of school, right? And then I'll be like, okay, and then I'd ace everything, and then teachers would get pissed off because they're like, what the fuck is this shit? I'd be like, you know, whatever. So anyway, dude, my dad told me, he was like, look, if you can go to school and like you can go to college in California, but if you do bad, you have to come out with me and live in New York and go to college out here. And I was like, and deal. So I was like, man, I'm about to just do well, you know? And so I go to school in Cali. I do shit. And he calls me up.
It's predictable, man.
He calls me up and he's like, all right, like,
it's time.
You got to come out here. And I was like, fuck that, I ain't going out there. Like, I'm staying out here. Da, da, da. And then he went on this whole spiel about a man always keeps his word. And you are a man, and you told me, you gave me your word that you would come out here. And it was really, when I took that call, I was in a parking lot of a studio I was at. So I was at the studio. Not me. I wasn't the one making music. At the studio. I was at the studio because the homies around me made music, and I would be more on the business side. I've been in music forever.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I would be doing more of the business shit, and I would be, you know, I made beats here and there, but nothing ever like consistently. I wanted to be on the business back end of it. So, I was doing that, and so like in the midst of him calling me, I'm thinking, man, we gonna make it in music out here, like that's what I'm thinking in my head.
I don't need college.
Yeah, like fuck that. And so we get through the whole spiel, and I'm like, whatever, man. Let me just move to New York, which ended up being the best decision I ever made, because if I would have stayed where I was, I could have easily gotten sucked into, like, you know, not wanting more for myself, right? Just like being very content where I was with my same friends and, you know, and not exploring as much as, you know, I think I have done since I moved. Yeah. So in that regard, I'm very, 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 very thankful that I moved full time to New York then. But that was a whole trip.
Wow, man, that's wild. Because as a kid, I used to move a lot too, but in the same areas. But I would move schools and shit like that, and I always found it hard to focus in school too. Like literally, what you're saying, exactly me was. I'm smart, but school was just not. It wasn't hitting. You know, it wasn't for me.
And they don't design schools.
That's what I was
for kids who are thinking. Different, right? Like this is also kudos to my dad. So when I was growing up, I had a lot of energy, I guess, whatever. And I was just like, you know, one of these like fidgety kids. Yeah. And that gets diagnosed as like ADHD or ADD or, you know.
It's always diagnosed.
It always is diagnosed, right? Rather than looking at the crux of it and being like, well, you know, he's not having like outbursts or anything. He's just energetic, right? Yeah. Like he talks a lot, whatever. So my dad wanted to put me in performing arts school since I was like middle school. Yeah. He was like, we need to send him to like performing arts school, and all the way up until high school. And so at that time, my family, I was living with my mom, my you know, my sister, brother, and step pops. We were all in Orange County, and Orange County is a very suburb, white people, like traditional, you know, we play sports in high school and fuck the drama kids. You know, it's like
literally,
it's literally like that. Yeah, right. Like the shit that you see.
One of those schools where there's no funds for like any of the performing arts.
Yeah, right. And like, you know, they're all in like this little dinky room, and like people think they're weird and shit.
And the football team goes to like other states to play.
They wear all their jerseys to fucking school, which I always hated wearing my jersey to school. I used to not wear it to school, and sometimes the guys would be like, "Yo, bro, why you not fucking wearing your jersey?" Man, I don't care. I feel like it. And so when I got to high school, my dad gave me an offer. It was like my choice. Like, yo, you can go to a regular high school or you can go to a performing arts school, right? Yeah. And I didn't, and even though my pops had put me on in like plays and like all these things, like he definitely gave me all the art side. He'd take me to crazy museums, always take me to crazy shit.
That's awesome.
But I just didn't get it because I was in such this environment. I was already playing sports. I was good at sports. And so I was like, nah, I'm gonna just go to the high school, you know, what everybody else. But like, I wish I would have made a different decision.
To have the opportunity, man.
And to my dad's credit, he did it all the way up into college, and I went to a performing arts college, which is wild.
You got there eventually.
You got there eventually.
Yeah, that's wild. Crazy, bro. That's wild. I didn't know about theater and shit like that until I was in 11th, 12th grade. Because I was grew up Christian. And my parents were pastors. I only went to church. They didn't know anything outside of church. And my parents, like, it was no fault to them. They weren't hiding me from any of that. They just didn't know what that was. Yeah. I didn't see a play and people doing that shit on stage until I saw it at like they like forced us to go during like a period or something like that just to see the show. And I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
this is
crazy.
Like kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I was a really shy kid. I was really laid back. I didn't really do much. And then like a year later I was like singing and dancing and like jiving on stage in like musicals and shit. Like it was that quick and everybody was like, who is that? And it felt so right. Yeah. But there's no like you were saying about the education, there's no outlet for that. There's no opportunity to like, hey, you I know you haven't thought about this, but here are all the benefits to this side. Maybe you're artistic. You don't know. Maybe you have arts. Maybe there's something within you that relates to that. But there's like in the system, man, there's nobody that cares about that. They're just like, get good grades or I'm going to get fired.
Yeah, especially, I mean, and like, I don't want to make it so linear because there are people who do care. It's just like.
There's a lot of people that care, man.
But the other part of it is, a large part of the fabric is traditional, go to school. Yeah. What are we told? Become a doctor, become a lawyer, whatever, become all these things that seem, very prestigious in name, right? And I've come to realize you can make anything you do prestigious. Literally anything. Whoever made this stand here is prestigious because guess what? They're making their bucks. They're making a living and they're good, Mr. Newer. Whatever. Yeah, like they're doing what, and I'm like, yo, there is no right way, right? You hear that shit all the time. There is no right way. There's just, you have to find your way.
There's no plan A, plan B, plan C. There's just plans. There's just
you can plan and you could plan, you could do, but life always gonna go awry at some point. Yeah. Shit ain't never gonna be straight. Never. And you gotta find a way. And like, I just wish that I had, I wasn't influenced by what was around me, but you're gonna imitate your environment.
100%.
I just wish I wasn't so influenced because I ended up trying out for drama class. Wow. I ended up trying out for drama class, and my homie Ryan Garcia convinced me, actually. I haven't talked to that guy in a long time. He probably doesn't even remember, but he's the one that convinced me to do it.
Just to be clear, it's a different Ryan, right?
Yeah, different Ryan.
There's a Ryan Garcia who also does theater as well. That's
different than that
Ryan.
Funny. Yes. No, this is. Oh no, I said Ryan Garcia. I'm bugging. This dude's name is Ryan Ortega.
So you did mean that Ryan Garcia, but you didn't mean yeah.
So Ryan Ortega.
Shout out to Ryan
told
Ortega.
me to do it, and he gave me my first monologue and everything. Wow. And I go and I do it, and the motherfucker I think he kind of played me a little bit because he gave it to me and made me think it was like a funny monologue. So I came in there and did it funny, and the drama teacher's like, this isn't meant to be funny. Like, you're supposed to be like serious. And I was like, oh, shit, and I think I was coming in, I was like the fucking sports dude, and like, they were like, why the fuck is he here type of shit. And so she was like, do it again, you're supposed to be serious. And like, I was like, okay. So I redid it. Yeah. And she was like very taken back. And so we had drama 1, drama 2, and drama IB, and I made it into drama 2. Let's go. And she was like, yeah, but the thing is, your grades are shit, and you can't get into drama 2 with your grades. I was like, damn, what? So the chance that I do have to start that path, I had fucking bad grades, bro. And they were like, yo, you can't get into drama 2 with these grades.
That's actually terrible.
Terrible, bro. And so like, I was like, why would you prevent?
It's an elective. Why would you prevent what?
Hey, man.
Okay, anyway.
I don't make the rules.
Past,
I don't make the rules.
Hey, you're an artist. Nothing could stop you from becoming an artist.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Yo, no cap though. I'm glad your dad was able to like, convince you to make the move, and like I'm glad it worked out for you too, because you could have self-sabotaged, but you didn't. You made the best of it, from what it seems.
Facts. So that move has definitely led me to a lot of other moves in my life.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. I've never been to the West Coast. I don't travel too much. And I'm not all about, this versus that. But if you had to pick a place right now in your life, you're here right now in New York, so you might be a little biased to what you, but like, you know, the whole East Coast versus West Coast thing, you know, what's the best coast?
Well, first thing I'm gonna say is travel, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like,
get your ass outside.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying.
God damn.
I'm trying, bro. We're actually gonna try to make it out to Cali this year.
Don't try, go.
We're going.
It's brick right now, so what the fuck you think I'm gonna say? I want to be in Cali. I don't want to be here. It's
like
cold as 15 degrees right outside there. I'm trying to be in Cali outside right now. Like, I ain't trying to be, but you know what? I go through my phases, right?
Yeah.
My girlfriend who lives with me here, she's from California, so
oh, nice, okay.
She loses her mind sometimes, right? And so, you know, we have to go back to Cali routinely. But for the most part, New York, I think, is my energy, man. I enjoy it. I think I'm myself out here. Yeah. And it's just I've been to a lot of states. Yeah. I've been to almost all 50.
Oh, damn.
And there's just nothing like New York, right? And I haven't been to enough places around the world, but I've been to, you know, big city. I've been to London. Yeah. I've been to Dubai. I'm going to Paris in May. So like, I'm going to like these big metropolitan cities, places, right? Yeah. And I'm like, yo, New York is still top of the food chain. Like, it's up there, right? Like, and so for that reason, you know, I'm a New Yorker through and through. But Cali, hey man, that's a good life, man.
Cali sounds.
You gotta understand that. That's a good life right there, boy. Come on now, you go to Cali.
Yeah, man.
I remember my boy Michael. When we got out of college, right, he would tell me all through college, yo, I'm gonna come live with you out there in Cali, bro. I'm gonna come live there. And I was like, man, whatever. And he came he came for like a week, and like he got toppled by. We were at the beach. He got hit by some waves and was like all fucked up and shit. And he was like, yo, bro. He looks around. He's like, bro, I'm gonna move here, bro. And I was like, yo, he bullshitting. I thought he was bull jiving. And so after college, I moved back to Cali for a year just to take a break. That motherfucker came and moved. He like really did it. Really I will never get this moment. You know, this dude is in New York through and through. Never lived anywhere else from the X. Never lived nowhere else. I remember he walked outside one day. He looked around. And this is like when he had lived here for a while. He looks around and he goes, it's another nice day. And he was like, it doesn't stop. And I was like, yo, bro.
He's like counting the, oh my.
Yeah, he's like, it's 75 again.
Oh,
I'm like, yo. That is different out there, man. Nice, man. Dude, it's like, it was 75 degrees yesterday. And cooling, bro.
That sounds amazing, man. That's the best weather right there.
Yeah, it's lit, man.
Damn.
It's lit.
Yeah, I've been dying to go out there for a minute too. And yeah, it's just one of those places too. I feel like everybody talks about it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of these places, like New York and Los Angeles and stuff, and they get a lot of hype, and people like to talk shit because that's like the counter opinion. But man, these are beautiful places, bro. We live in some amazing places.
Yeah,
like,
no, we do.
We're really lucky to be living in the places that we do.
Yeah, and I was lucky to grow up between both of them. So like growing up and like just having that juxtaposition, you know, being in New York, the gritty, like everybody's all crammed together, and you know, fucking, we're going through seasons, we're all bitter in the winter, everyone's wearing black, to going in Cali where motherfuckers have their shirts off half the time, and everybody got their space, and you know, we're all 30 minutes from the beach, and it's all like, you know, it's just different, dude. Yeah, it's just really different, and I really appreciate
opposing energies.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate growing up between those two. And when you go to other places in America, you really realize, oh God, thank God I live in New York. Thank God I live in LA.
Yeah, I used to live in Florida, bro.
Not to hate on other states, man, but man, y'all ain't New York, y'all ain't LA. Y'all know that very much so. And maybe you don't want to be that. That's fine.
I mean, some are trying to be, you know.
You know, some are trying to be, and that's all these transplants you get from all over. They know what time it is. New York and LA, you know, and there's other great cities in America. For sure, don't get me wrong. Like, Atlanta's crazy.
Chicago's dope.
Yeah, Seattle's dope. Chicago's dope. You know, Portland's dope. You know,
I tried to go to Portland last year.
Really?
Yeah. COVID hit, or the year before COVID hit, and then we couldn't go.
But there's a lot of amazing places, but nothing hits like LA and New York.
Yeah,
man. It's just
I'm excited to go, bro. So your New York roots, you, now that you're here, you've done a ton, right? You went to SUNY Purchase.
Yes.
Yeah. You came out. When did you start working with Major Stage?
That was recent.
Really?
That was last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
oh damn.
that was
Okay.
recent. Yeah.
Okay.
We started working literally when I dropped Scorpio and Transparency.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit. Okay, that's dope. That's dope.
Now in college, when I first started rapping, I was supposed to do a Major Stage show. They probably don't even know this. I was supposed to do a show with them. I had the tickets printed, everything.
No way.
And I had to cancel for something. I forgot what happened.
Shit,
like
that's crazy.
I had like an emergency or some shit, and I had to cancel. And then it's like, 4 years later, we're working.
That's crazy.
Like, it's wild.
We did. Franco did a Major Stage show.
You did?
Yeah, he did a Major Stage show where it was actually Franco did one, and then my friend Jonah Graves also did a Major Stage show. It was one of those. I don't know if they're all the same, but it was the show where they have a ton of artists beforehand, and then they have the main.
That's kind of how the system works, right?
Yeah,
because which is dope. Shout out Major Stage 1.
Shout out to Major Stage,
which is really dope because yes, you get a bunch of artists on a bill.
The
right?
volume is high. Yeah.
The volume is high, and you're only gonna get 10, 15 minutes, but. If you think about it, for an up-and-coming artist, right, if you have 10 artists on that bill, not saying they're filling it out like that, but if you have, even if you have 5 or 6, whatever, everybody gets to pull from each other's, bases. And,
the community.
Everybody's support system and really, use that 10, 15 minutes as fucking well as you can. Yeah. And hopefully whoever's a headliner brings a big system support with them.
Ideally.
And you can, use that to your advantage. Yeah. So I know a lot of people always be like, oh, there's so many people on the bill. But like when Major Stage has been doing this for a long time, so, they know what they're doing. They have their methods. And like, if you're going to get on a show like that, use the opportunity, sell your tickets, go crazy, try to make you some money. Like,
come out with your best shit.
Yeah,
man.
Come out with your best shot. Like, don't just be like, whatever. Like, the show don't matter. Because I know we as artists can have that kind of mentality.
And you can read that shit so easy. I've seen that. I've been to, my fair share of Major Stage because of my friends and shit. And I never really thought of it like that, to be honest. Usually people think they're like, man, I'm here for a minute and I'm seeing a lot of people right now. And sometimes, the talent is like, it fluctuates. And you can read when people are like not giving it their all. And sometimes the tracks, man.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. So like, every time I got on those bills, I'd always be happy. Yeah. And I would, and even if I went first, even if I was the first one, I'd be like, man, this sucks for y'all because you guys have to go after me. And I know that, and I'm not even trying, bro. No. I'm really not trying to be arrogant, but I just know, because I understand the music, and trust me. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of people who aren't making, music may not be for you, right? Yeah. But we should all be trying it. Of course. And especially, and you have all the courage to get on the stage and go do your music, man. I will never hate. But I know the abilities that I bring, and I know what I'm going to do on the stage, and I feel bad, right? Because sometimes it's like, I'm going to come and take it as serious, and you're going to see somebody who's like...
Who's doing this
shit. Right? And then so it makes it weird after that if like everybody else is like what you're saying, the tracks are kind of...
and they're just kind of like...
They're like up there. They don't even know the words to their song.
They're doubling doubling their voices, so you don't even know if they're singing or not. Like,
it's just all 2-track. You're just sitting there, and they're like, and I'm like, So I always took those opportunities to... really shine and be like, oh, there was a gem on this bill, right? Like,
because when you show out, man, and you're surrounded by people who, like, when there's a really good, like, if there was like 15 artists, right, and they all had like dope shit and they were all like your caliber, right, and you were getting up there, it'd be like, yo, there's a lot of sick talent. This was a great show. This was really dope. You probably don't really... From there, you're like, there's all these cool people. I'm not going to follow it.
You're not standing out, right?
But then when you have that standout, when you just let everybody in and you you give people the opportunity, the people who aren't doing as much or aren't working as hard, you give them the opportunity to see what they need to achieve and see how they need to stand out and what they need to do. You also give the people who are already doing what they do and they do it well, you're giving them the opportunity to stand out, you know what I'm saying? To stand out from the rest. So I think that's that healthy competition that I feel like is necessary.
And that's the only thing that I think I don't like about that type of pay to play process is that anybody can pay to play. And so the quality may not always be there, which I can't knock on the business model because you're going to get your bread. This person has to sell tickets. So I agree with it to an extent, but you would hope that, on a bill you're going to get the most quality, right? And I think with a major stage or any other, there's another company out there, Gig Finesse, I think they do curate their bigger shows like that, sure, right? They're obviously not going to just they're
not throwing everybody on that shit. If it's an important one,
if it's sure. A local show, shit, throw 10 of you motherfuckers on there, boy. Who gonna
this is for the community, tickets, bro? Right?
Yeah, this is for the tickets, which you can't knock it, and it helps people build. So
it does, it really does. I mean, we've met so many people at those shows. Like,
there you go.
We see somebody dope, and we're like, yo, actually, let's connect. Sick. And then as Project Feel, we pull up expecting to see people, and we pull up ready to help people too. Like if we see an artist we fuck with, and we talk to them and they want to collab, we do it. You know what I'm saying? And if they really want to work hard enough, like we have shows that we do, and we can put them on our bills too. And that's what it's about.
There you go.
Pulling up with the community and everybody, bringing their best to that space, and then building more spaces outside of that. So
I agree, 100%.
I mean, I fuck with Major Stage heavy. I mean, they've been, since I've been here, I've been hearing about them.
Yeah, they're
because they're
really,
just kind of like everybody knows about that.
Yeah, I mean, well, one, they're long standing, right? They've been in this shit for it has to be 10 years plus.
That's crazy,
right? Yeah. So
it's a long time.
They've been around for a long time. They're a staple in New York, especially. They're East Coast. I think they're moving more to the West Coast, which is dope.
Which is cool, yeah.
So yeah, they're stable, and I'm hoping to get on a major stage bill this year.
Just get it.
I'm hoping to get on one with them. I'm about to send this to them, and be like, yo, Marco, get in, put me on.
That's sick, man. That's really dope. So you have like with your tracks and everything you release, you have some really dope shit. You've been in this game for a minute. It seems like you've been in it
too long, man.
For a while. Go ahead and pick that up. To do this.
Too long, man.
Yeah, I felt the energy in that.
Too long.
What are some of your like moments of like success? Moments where you felt like this is what I'm here for, and like I guess if you have those moments, like how did you get to those moments? Like what did it take?
The first one was back in college. So I had, people make bucket lists. I never wrote my bucket list down, but one thing that was always on my bucket list was to drop a mixtape. I'd always wanted to drop a mixtape, and I thought it would be one and done. I'm going to drop a mixtape, and, I'll never come out again, right? And I remember my plan was to basically take over my college, right? Because there was people who were rapping and were really high caliber, and these people were really good.
Like
and rappers, man. Yeah. Like seriously, like dudes I respect to this day, right? Like, and so, but there's, you can be very excellent at rapping, but there's more to building a brand, right? Like popularity comes into it, like the look, personality, it's more than just that, right? On one side of the spectrum, rap is a huge spectrum. There is some people who are just lyrical and that's it, and they make it like that because their ability is just
it's a lot harder.
Supersedes. It's a lot harder. It's a lot more grinding, but that can happen. But I knew I was more of like the poppy, like, I would be more of a performer, like that type of shit. So my goal was to take over the school. And when I dropped my first single, I'd walk around school and people kept coming up to me, yo, that shit was hot, bro. We was listening to your single, like that shit was hot. Blah, 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 blah. And so my name, like right after my first single became like prominent. Like people were like, yo, we fucking with you. And so I kept dropping I dropped a couple more. People were fucking with them. They were fucking with them. And I'm like, okay, I'm building a little buzz for myself here. And I'm not going to say I didn't take over the school, but like my name was out there as one of the rappers there, right? Like it was like if you mentioned rappers at Swing Purchase, you had to put my name in it. There was no way you could not put my name in it, right? So I was like, all right, bet.
That's dope.
And then when I dropped my Yanks my self-entitled EP, that's when I really felt it. I was getting hit up from all around the world. And I think the pressure of the success of that actually made me fall off a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, because it was a lot, you know, it took a lot for me to even drop the project. And then when I dropped the project, like, it was a lot, man. It was a lot. Like, and I remember that being like such a moment. I remember my phone blew up. Like I had like 80 texts. Like it was like crazy. And I never.
Like it's your birthday or some shit.
Yeah, bro. Like Facebook was going crazy. My Gram's going crazy. Like everything was going crazy. And I was like,
dude, it's crazy how it makes you want to just like not even interact.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I was not expecting like this type of. I don't think anybody was also expecting this type of project from me, right? Yeah. Like I dropped and people were like, whoa, like I had skits in it, I had the whole thing, and like it was a whole thing. And so people, I think, were just shocked that I came like that, and I was shocked too, shit. And that ended up leading me to LA to like, you know, try to do it. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, yeah, those are some moments. Like I've had a lot of good moments. So I'm not, you know, those were the beginning ones are always the most special because those are the ones that taught me that I could do it. So
in general, yeah, it gave you that confidence, right?
Yeah,
and you still carry that with you, right?
Yeah,
that's dope. You showed me that one of your tracks was on what's the show called? Was it?
Oh, The Equalizer.
The Equalizer?
Maybe. Well, that is one that is.
Did you have multiple?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's great. Wait, The Equalizer, like there's a show?
TV show, yeah, with Queen Latifah.
No way.
Yeah. Shout out Queen Latifah.
I think that might have been it, actually. I think that might have been it. Yeah. You showed us that when we were hanging out at your boy's crib.
Yeah, and shout out my boy, Josh Crispin.
Hell yeah.
And Will Ventress. Those are my dogs. They have given me a whole new way to look at music, and that is through sync. And if you're an artist out there, please do yourself a favor and try to get into the sync game, because as an independent artist, that is a way for you to make tangible dollars and put that shit towards your personal projects and all the other things that you want to build throughout your career. Because you know, if these guys would have never put me onto that, I would have never realized that, today, if I wanted to stop being Yanks in a way, like not so public facing, and I didn't want to, not that I am crazy public facing, but if I didn't want to, put out personal projects,
you didn't want to be the performer, the performer,
face, all that, guess what, bro? I would fucking put everything I got in a sync and I could make a living. Yeah. Straight up.
Yeah. Because you got what it takes. If you have the music, and it shit sounds good, and you know that if you, like, when you watch commercials, you watch movies, you watch anything, any content, and you know you make tracks of that caliber. Yeah.
Well, and like it is a certain sound.
For sure.
And thank God I have these dudes, because they, like, this is what they do.
They tell you, they'll tell you, like, change this.
They've kind of just tailored me for sync, right? And so now, after like 2-3 years of doing this shit, I'm pretty, I'm not going to say I'm on it, but like I'm good enough to where like I send them some today, like, I bet
this is it.
They can arrange it, and they're very honest. So
that's awesome, man.
That has been dope. And the latest sync I got was a Bill Maher spot.
Let's go.
Yeah, so for like he's entering like his 20th season, and
holy shit,
the song was for their new season promo.
Let's go. It was dope. Yeah,
it was dope.
Congratulations. What?
And that's crazy for me, because my dad used to watch Bill Maher every freaking night, dude.
He's a classic, bro.
Always watch Bill Maher. And so when I sent that to him, he was tripping.
Bill Maher. As a father, that must have been like,
that was dope.
So cool, man.
That was dope.
That's a really great moment, man. Great advice. Sync.
Get into sync any way possible,
because it's figure it out. Spotify and Tidal and Apple Music and just releasing music, that shit ain't gonna.
United Masters does really well with syncing independent artists, but the caveat to that is the deals aren't so artist friendly, which I understand from a business point because they're dealing with a high volume of artists, and if you're doing 700 syncs of 1,500 syncs of all of these various artists, I understand why it can't be so lucrative, but like something that I would probably make for the same spot, maybe 4 or 5K, that artist on their platform might make like gratis, or
gratis.
So
the music industry,
but there's always a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You may not be making the crazy bread, but you are getting the look, you're getting an opportunity, and you can flip that. Yeah. There are marketing advantages to doing these, right? Yeah. And getting these. So don't overlook that. But for the caliber of dudes that I'm working with, they ain't about it. So I'm just going to put on, they're not about that, boy. Stress them out quick.
Man. Thank you for that. Shout out to Safe and Sound Studios.
Safe and
Shout
Sound.
Shout out to Benny. Shout out to Benny Boy for extensions. That's how we met each other.
We did.
Pull up to an extensions, which is kind of like a mixer thing that they put together. And Yanks was performing, and you killed it that night. It was incredible.
Thank you.
I was honored to be there, and shout out to them. How did you meet? Was it Ben or was it
Ben? Me and
Jonah?
Ben were interns together.
No shot.
Warner Music, so that's how I knew Ben. Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, so
I love Benny,
me and Ben always were cool, and we've just remained cool over the years. By the way, Ben, if you hear this, we still have that double date, man. We got to go to St. Anselm and have our steaks, man. Stop playing with me, dog. We already talked about this, man. Damn, God, dog.
Get it.
So and we've always been cool. Benny's always supported me. That is my dog. Like, if whatever happens to me in this music world, if I ever can lift that dude up in any way possible, I'm going to, because this energy, dude has always held me down with a show, promotion, whatever I need. He's there. He's always come through. So
that's fire,
that's why I try to support anything and everything that he does, because he's always put me on. So that's kind of how I got involved with that.
That's dope, man. Shout out to him. He's super kind, man, and he's just I feel that support, that energy, where he's just like, he's ready to give. And he knows what it's about, man. I feel like he knows what's up too. So that's great, man. So usually for every interview, we post before we do the interview, before the podcast, and we have patrons ask some questions. That's one of the tiers that you can get. Just so you know, if you're watching this and you don't know what our Patreon offers, you can ask questions to the artists we're going to have on the shows, which is super dope.
That's what you could do.
And then eventually, when we get some more support, we get a bigger community, we're going to start doing call-ins too, where people can like call in and ask questions and shit. So we'll get there, though. We'll get there. But I do have some questions, just 2 though. Just real simple. If you could appear on a song with anyone in the world, who would it be and why? You could feature or have them feature on your track.
I mean, I would 100% feature on a Drake song.
Oh, man.
And the main reason being we have the same birthday. And
Let's go.
We drop it on our birthday. And that's it. We drop it on our birthday. October 24th. I make a birthday track. That's what
great.
I would do. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Because it's a birthday track. That's great.
Just be a birthday
track.
That'd
be the birthday anthem for the next 10 years for sure.
Straight
up. Great. Second question from the patrons. Who do you think is out there right now the best rapper? Current. Not old, not new, current. Like, right now, who's out there doing the best right now? It's a big question, but...
Best rapper to me would probably have to be Kendrick. Because he's just like, not only is the lyrical depth always crazy, but it's like the artistry around it, how he's able to deliver everything, and like the emphasis that he puts on things, the little details that are in it, like the inflections, like his
vocals, man.
He's just like, he's a rapper's rapper, and he got it, man. Seriously, he has it, and like sometimes you don't want to mention like a mega name like that, but like
he's different though, man.
He's literally different. And I saw him at Day in Vegas, and I was like, damn, this dude got it, bro. Like, as just, yeah, he's just a very, very
a lot of the bigger rappers
individual.
A lot of the bigger rappers have a lot of haters, you know what I'm saying? Like they have a lot of people that are like, nah, this is all trash. But I feel like Kendrick is one of those that I don't think I've ever heard Kendrick slander out there. Like, I'm sure it happens, but like that's not something that's
very rare.
Yeah, because he doesn't really miss.
He can't.
Even when he's fucking around with Baby Keem on his tracks, bro, it sounded like he was just like,
he's just
having fun, bro. And it works so, it was perfect.
And it works
bro.
great.
It works
and
so
I remember
well.
Tyler, the Creator, being like, yo, he done did it again. Now, like, he's already done did it all. He's trying new shit.
Yeah, bro.
It's like, fuck. Like, I gotta step it up. And it's like a fact, bro.
Imagine being in the game at the top of your level, at the top of your game, and you
you're
gotta
still
compete
trying
with that
new shit,
motherfucker,
still
bro.
doing, oh, yeah, no, he's a different breed, bro. Different breed.
I can't wait for that next one.
But you know a rapper that I've always enjoyed, that I don't think will ever get the type of like mainstream love like a Kendrick or something, but I really enjoy Smino's style.
Smino's dope.
Yeah, I really love Smino.
Smino's dope.
Smino style. And then I actually don't think Isaiah Rashad is like as lyrical as people.
His most recent project wasn't like
put him out there to be, but he's one of my favorite rappers, bar none. Yeah, I love Isaiah Rashad's artistry and shit. And so I fuck with him too. But
100%. I love Smino. What's that? There's a song by him. Is it Clink? I think it's called Clink.
Yeah,
I love Clink, bro. Yeah. Clink is one of my. If I'm trying to feel good, bro, I'm like,
throw it out.
that shit makes me bump, bro. Oh my god, I love that
little
song.
Voices and shit. No,
it's one of the bro. I love when people can just like blend and like mix up their voice and like shift it drastically and make it like you never heard nothing before.
Yeah.
Like that shit is dope as fuck, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
You gotta be like exciting like that, because then nobody knows what to expect, and that shit is exciting. And then there's room for like people who are like, you know, this is their sound. Every time you listen to a track, you're gonna get that sound. It's gonna be pretty much the same thing every single time in a way. That's like a popular way to make music. That's people love that consistency. But when it's like exciting like that, man, it's youthful. It's just like dramatic. It's dope as fuck.
Youthful
bro.
is a good way to put it.
Yeah. What is for you? And this is like a kind of broad question, but like, what's the bigger picture for you? Like, what's the thing that kind of like transcends it all for you? Like, what's the
in
goal?
this day and age, I think we're all saying the same shit. We want our own label. We want to join artists. You know, fucking, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm going to be in music for a long time, like if I'm going to make it my career, like to me, there's only that part is very linear, right? Like, you can do the artistry and then you go to the back end. Like,
there's a way to go.
That's it, right?
It's
and you try
how it works every time.
And you try to sign other artists and hopefully you know, do it the right way, you know, let them keep their masters, like actually give them a good royalty split, you know, and just
huge, man.
do things the right way, right? And like with this, you know, with crypto and NFTs and shit and Web3 coming out, like, you know, it's gonna be a whole nother frontier that we have to attack in the music game. So, you know, shout out my dog Yuri. Yuri is my manager.
Okay, hell yeah.
And I know I said that mad weird, but you know, it's weird because we're just working together, manager. Like we're brand new,
we're
but
figuring it out. Yeah,
he is my manager, and he's fucking dope. And one of his specialties is like NFTs, Web3, and all that. So like having him is the greatest asset, because like all the shit that the music game is gonna have to start getting into, he's been on like way on it, right? So like we're already ahead of the curve, right? And
which is great.
And now we're just putting in the work to make some things happen.
We got to make sure we do it right too, man. There's a lot of with anything new, man. There's a lot of potential for some, you know, shady shit and things to go awry. And we got to make sure we're doing it all right. And I think that specifically with the music industry, like we had this. I had an artist on for the first episode. His name is Lifer. He's a singer, songwriter, performer as well.
Okay.
And he's pretty aware of the songwriting game. He knows a lot about that. And he's in tune with the music industry. And a lot of our conversation was about how fucked up it can be in there, and how like the music industry can be a nasty place for a lot of people. Yeah,
bunch of fucking rats, and all trying to get the same cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Fucked up.
And I think that it's important for us as the youth, you know what I'm saying, as the young people coming in, that we're the next generation. We're like right now. You know
I ain't young, motherfucker.
So you're still young as fuck, bro.
I ain't young, man. I'm old in the rap game, dog.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, hey, you got your, you know, you got that title still, but you still young, bro. And we it's important that we go in and like while we're in there, we're not doing the same shit that everybody else is
you don't want to fall in line.
You know?
Yeah, you
because that's how it goes. You fall in line. It's such a big industry. Like if you want what a lot of people want, which is just comfort, you know, to have success and to make money and to be, you know, a lot of people just you fall in line.
Nah,
you know, so
there's no fun in that.
Yeah, there's literally not fun.
I'm trying to be what everybody should. Look, it's being paraded around now as you know a cliche, and we all should do it. But independence is real, man. Like,
for 1,000%.
Would you rather make fucking 2% of $1 million or fucking 100% of $200,000? Like,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Which would, I think, essentially be the same number. I'm not the best at math.
2% of it wouldn't be the same number.
Look at us, dumbasses.
20%.
And we over here said earlier we ain't dumb. Yeah, look.
You said 200,000, right? That's 20% of $1 million.
That is right.
Yeah, it's 20% of $1 million. Yo, we didn't go to school, bro. I mean,
no, it's the same.
We went to school, but
it's the same.
It's the same. What?
Wait.
2%, 20%, bro. 20%, bro. You trying to drag me down with you, bro?
Yeah, right. Like, don't bring me with y'all. Y'all know what I meant. Hey, I mean,
1,000%. We know what you meant. It's so true. Independence is the way to go right now.
Yeah.
Until somebody figures that shit out, bro. Until like there's a way to sign a contract and not sign your life away, bro.
I mean,
like,
people have figured it out. Like, right? Like, I think Russ is a good example of that. I think he just signed somebody. He was like, yo, they got their own masters. I put in the money for them.
It's just it's about getting the money.
He's like, it's like that's what artists need, right? We all need a motherfucking bag. Yeah. We want to be able to support ourselves.
There's a lot of people
and make music all fucking day. Yeah. And guess what? I want to be able to pay everybody a good wage to help. Shit.
And there's people doing it out there right now, and I love to see it. Like Kenny Beats, I love Kenny Beats, bro.
Kenny Beats is dope.
He's putting young people on. Like when he it's really open for a lot of people, and then when somebody gets there and they show what they got and it's really good, bro, it blows up for them, and that's really dope. Really dope, you know.
Yeah, and you gotta seize the moment.
You love to see that. Yeah,
you gotta seize the moment.
You love to see that shit, bro. So to end it off, to close out this wonderful episode. First, I want you to let them know what you got coming up next.
I can do that.
And then after that, if you have any words of wisdom, if you want to impart anything to the audience, anything you've learned recently or something that you hold steadfast by, just, you know, give them anything.
So what I got coming up, EP dropping with my boy OTJ, One Take Jake. It's just gonna be dope. That's my OG. I got an album coming out this year. I got some singles coming out this year, so just look out for a lot of music. Yes. Follow me on socials at Poppy Yanks, PAPIYANKS.
Hell yeah.
Here.
Right there. Perfect.
Yep. There. And words of wisdom. Cliches are real. Work hard. Stay consistent. Don't get discouraged too much, you know. Sometimes, like I said earlier, life is going to go awry no matter what. And you have to just be able to, you know, when it gives you a different turn, you got to take that path sometimes. And that path can lead you back to the original path, but don't be scared of it. And pay people. Pay people on time. Pay them, you know, what you can afford. Even if it's $20, pay them $20. Don't be on some like, yo, you need everything for free, man. Like, I'm a very much that person where I'll do a lot of shit for free just because a lot of people have held me down. But like, now that I got, and I barely have it, a little bit of bread, you know, I'm gonna pay pay on time. Anybody I can, right? Like, cause yeah, it's business, and you want to help artists support each other. Like, we have to. Yeah. But that's it.
Anything you put in the community comes back.
Facts.
So, and it's better to put it here than anywhere else.
Facts.
I feel you, man. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you immensely. I really do.
Thank you. This was a nice first podcast for
Hell
me.
yeah, bro. We got Yanks on first. Let's go. Holding that forever.